console or PC? That is the question of today's video. For Battlefield 4, are you going to be sticking with console or PC, or are you going to be changing it up a bit and going over to a new platform? Now for me personally, my primary sort of gaming platform is the PC, but I do have a PS4 on pre-order. There are some games that I feel that just work better on console. And I think that's really due down to the social aspect of these new generation consoles that are being touted by Sony and Microsoft. Both of the consoles are heavily influenced on sharing what you've been doing with your gaming experience. And consoles, at least the current gen ones anyway, are already much more user friendly than when it comes to PC gaming if you want to play with your friends. For Xbox 360 you've got built-in cross-game chat, which means you can chat with someone who's playing a different game to what you are, and with PS3 you've of course got squad chat for Battlefield 3, where you can talk to your squad, or your team in fact, on Battlefield 3. If you're playing on the PC, you've got to find your own solution. You've got to either use Skype or TeamSpeak or something to that effect so that you can play with your friends if you want to communicate with them. In terms of Battlefield 3, I think PC was the best platform for the game. That's just my opinion. You guys may have a different one. Leave it in the comments. I'll gladly read all your comments on this. It's the point of making this video. But console did have its warrants as well, so I'm going to start with those. First of all, Close Quarters DLC worked really well on consoles. It was much more action-packed and fast-paced and suited the lower player count that consoles can handle. Game modes like Gunmaster and Conquest Domination really did fit well, and there was some good team play in that DLC. I've already mentioned the squad and team chat that is available on consoles as well. That did work really well for players of that type, so that more PTFOing could go on that platform perhaps than what was on PC. And of course the PS3 did have exclusivity to Battlefield 3 DLCs before any other platform, which worked well for console users because obviously they got to try it out with a lower player count first to look around the map, see how everything was going, before the big PC guys jumped in with their 64-man servers. But for me, that's pretty much where the good things stopped for Battlefield 3 for console. The consoles just didn't really do it justice. An example of why I don't think the consoles worked for Battlefield 3. Halfway through the endgame DLC, I got together with a few of you guys on PS3 and we started launching vehicles across the map. However, there were a few times where that C4 went off a little bit early. When there's 25 C4 on the ground and you're standing right next to it and someone explodes it, the frame rate on the PS3 would drop below 30 down to nearly 10 frames per second. Quite frankly, that's completely unacceptable. I would not even want to play at 30 frames per second, let alone 10. And this is really where the PC side of things really starts to kick in. You've got 1080p 60 frames per second, and it's not even locked at 60 frames. If you've got a graphics card that's capable of running Battlefield 3 on high or ultra settings, sometimes the 680, I know Matt the Musketeer has a 680, he can run Battlefield 3 on ultra settings at 90 frames per second. I myself have a 6950 and I can run Battlefield 3 at 60 frames per second on medium settings, both of which we play at 1080p as well, so we're looking at some pretty good standards for Battlefield 3 on PC. Then of course you do have the massive 64-man servers, and they worked really well with the Armoured Kill DLC. Those maps required player counts that high to fill the map up, and it just about worked. I think Bandar Desert was even a stretch of how much you can fit onto one map, but 64 players on that still felt a little bit sparse at times. And also the peripherals that you can use on PC are just much more, I don't know, easy to use than are on a console. I find that a console controller, especially the PS3 one, can be quite a handful to actually use. All the buttons are in reach, but sometimes it just doesn't feel like the response is really there. If you've got a keyboard and mouse at your fingertips, it's much easier to aim, control, recoil, all that different lovely stuff, and all the buttons are within reach. I just find it's much easier to play on a PC. When I first switched, I did indeed find it very difficult to play with a mouse and keyboard, but with a month's practice I was a novice player and I could kill people that stood in front of me. I could kill moving targets at range, and over time I've now played on PC for 2.5 years, and I consider myself to be an adept PC player. So all in all, you've got better gameplay, 1080p graphics, higher frame rates, better servers, 64-man servers. The things for PC are really starting to rack up for BF3. But is that going to change for Battlefield 4, considering the new consoles? The new consoles are going to be running on x86 architecture. They're going to have 8GB of RAM, and both are going to be using 8-core APUs from AMD. Now those kind of specs are bringing it into line with what we expect from a gaming PC these days. And that really does lead me on to my final question. Are you going to be sticking with consoles just so that you can upgrade to the next gen and then carry on with the way you like gaming with a controller, with your friends, however you like to play? Or are you going to be switching to PC because you've seen the benefits from Battlefield 3? And what I'm asking for you guys is simply to put your answer in a comment below. I want to know if you're going to be going with console or PC. If you're going to go with console, let me know which one you're going to be going with. Or are you going to be sticking with current generation consoles for Battlefield 4 as well? I don't know if you should, but are you going to be sticking with them? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. It's a bit more sort of in-depth than what I like to think about for these kind of things, and I know it's going to start a console versus PC war in the comments anyway, but I hope you did enjoy the video. As I said, do leave a comment, and if you did like the video, don't forget to give it a like as well. Just one more quick point, I am still running my giveaway for the Roccat gaming mouse that I mentioned in a previous video. I will be picking a winner halfway through next week after I've done the review for the mouse itself. So make sure you stay subscribed to my channel, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, then come across and subscribe, and you could be in with a chance of winning a £60 gaming mouse. My name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.